Have you ever wondered whether you could use Ching and Beastie Bloomz at the same time? Well, in this video, we're going to get into it. You're here with Mark Powell on Perfect Gardens TV. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We also have our $2.99 membership. And if you need a little more one-on-one, we have a VIP link down below in the description. Okay, so Chris asked a great question. Can we use Ching and Beastie Bloomz at the same time? So to just answer your question real quickly, no, you cannot use them at the same time. And we're actually going to go through the feeding schedule and a few other things right now. So all I really have to ask you, is it Ching or is it burning? Really what it comes down to. And if you haven't checked out my other videos of what I've talked about on Fox Farm, I have about 36 separate videos. I'm not a huge fan of this product, just as a disclaimer. Although, remember, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Okay, so real quick, as we look at these products, we're going to jump down to the very bottom where it says Open Sesame, Beastie Bloomz, and Ching. As you can see right here, that none of these products overlap. You use the Open Sesame first. They recommend a 1/4 teaspoon per gallon. Then you jump over to a Beastie Bloomz. And remember, so right now you're in the first 3 weeks into flowering is when you use Open Sesame. And you got to think about it, right? They're marketing as Open Sesame, so starting those flowers. Beastie Bloomz is to really get those flowers going is their marketing thought process. And so for there, you'll use the Beastie Bloomz again at a 1/4 teaspoon per gallon for about 2 weeks, so weeks 4 and 5. And then the last 3 to 4 weeks into flowering, you'll use the Ching, also at a 1/4 teaspoon per gallon. More than likely, though, by the time you start using these products, there's going to be an enormous amount of salt buildup in these products. And real quick, as you see this, you see the Ching is a 950/10. You have the Beastie Bloomz at a 050/30. And you have Open Sesame at a 445/19. Remember, bigger is not always better. Trust me on that one. Anyways, either way, more is not always the answer when you're dealing with plants. So some of the things to really expect is what you're going through in your season right now, this very point most likely, is you probably have already dealt with a couple of drybacks because of occasional poor watering practices. And that's just where one day you go and water at 9, the next day you come back and water at 1, the next day you come back and water at 5. And you just have these irrhythmic patterns around watering. This is going to cause, especially if you live in a drier area or a place at higher altitude, this is going to cause drybacks. Because you're dealing with incomplete chemical reactions in Fox Farm fertilizers or just a high salt-based content, the salts will, when they dry back, they're going to bind together because common molecules bind together and they become isolates. They become full salts. During this time period, most likely, because you have an irregular watering pattern, there's going to be salt buildup. There's going to be drybacks in your pot. And then at times, when you're flushing or watering a good amount of water, those salts will solubilize. And most likely, it's going to cause a toxicity. So that's the next thing. Salt builds up due to, like I said, underwatering and excess in salts. Next one, also Grow Big and Tiger Bloom have a lot of salts. Okay, they're the same types of salts that are actually in the Open Sesame, the Beastie Bloomz, and Ching. So like I said, common molecules bind together. And most likely, because of irregular water patterns and just because it was the product you saw that looked cool, so you purchased it. It might be one of your first times growing. Well, more than likely, you have not flushed. More than likely, you haven't balanced out your soils and your parts per million have creeped up pretty high already. So when you add in the Open Sesame and the Beastie Bloomz, the Ching, it's only going to add in excess salts. And so what does that actually do to you? And what are you more than likely to expect by this? More likely you're going to get a low yield and a higher quality because you've been stressing your plants out. Like you'll get lower yield, but what you do have will be decent quality. And that's, and many times is misleading because people are like, oh, my stuff got me hella high, But it's not about getting high. It's also about, instead of yielding a half ounce or 1 ounce, you could have yielded 4 or 5 ounces. And still got just as high quality if the plant was healthy. So what happens? Remember, we were looking at the numbers. It was like a 950/10. There was a couple 50s and a couple 19s on the P and the K. So what to expect when you have a high P and K. If you haven't checked out my other videos where I talk about toxicities and around phosphorus and potassium, please go out and check those videos. They go more into depth. So there's a number of things that might happen. The new growth on the plant the leaves might be elongated. and thin. They might have intervening corrosis that might look like magnesium deficiencies. You might also have a zinc or an iron deficiency caused by, remember, I was talking about law of tolerance and law of minimum, right? Because you have excess, it's locking out these other nutrients, and you're going to see deficiencies possibly with zinc, iron, calcium, and magnesium when you have excess phosphorus and potassium. And you might have big, large yield flowers, but there's a good chance too, if you're doing something wrong, you might actually have a low resin production. Still, you might have it might get you high, but still the quantity there might be low. It's just phosphorus and potassium, they mess with your flowering at times. So, and then last but not least is you're going to see your root system not actually being underdeveloped because you have high salts and it's frying the root system. So what do I recommend doing? I recommend 2 products, and you still have time in this season to put these 2 products on your plants and see a dramatic increase in your quality, your yield, and overall plant health. First product is going to be the go-to, Drops of Balance. Why is that? It's because it's increasing your trace minerals. And when you increase your trace minerals, when you have excess salts, it's actually increasing the threshold of your ecosystem overall for everything else to exist, actually. The next is going to be actually helping flush and solubilize the salts that have been accumulated in your root system due to drybacks over the season. Next is your EM1. Your EM1 is all your bacteria. Bacteria needs minerals. Minerals are the cofactors to produce enzymes. Bacteria and minerals. You need these 2 to produce enzymes, no matter what. So when you get these 2 products and you use them in conjunction with the Fox Farm, it will make a shitty Fox Farm brand good to high quality brand, just because the bacterias and the trace minerals are just have this amazing effect together. And this isn't with Fox Farm. This is with Athena. This is with so many other brands that are dealing with synthetic fertilizers. I recommend if you want to keep using it, instead of using a quarter per gallon, use a quarter per 2.5 gallons, a quarter teaspoon per 2.5 gallons of open sesame. Lower the parts per million, create an environment so the bacteria can exist properly. Use the Drops of Balance to clean your water source, increase the trace minerals, and you're going to find that your growth this season will finish off better than you've ever had. Especially, even if you've never grown before, EM1 and Drops of Balance will increase your overall plant health and the overall quality and yield, especially when using products like Fox Farm or brands like Fox Farm. Remember, all these products are available on dropsbalance.com, and make sure to use the discount code PG10 when you come over here. When you come to the homepage, you'll see all the Drops of Balance products. And if you need it on a higher concentration form, they have them larger there. Make sure to go under the plants, look under EM1 Terra Organics. You'll find the EM1 bacteria product, as well as if you have a larger system and you want to actually automate the process and use our siphon system. Make sure to check out our siphon system. We have a 1,000-gallon and 8,000-gallon system that comes with your fermentation kit. It comes with all the products you'll need: EM1, Drops of Balance, 2 siphon systems, and your complete fermentation kit to actually activate the EM1. So your 32-ounce bottle ends up being worth 1,000 gallons of nutrients. Same with the Drops of Balance. Okay, thanks so much. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and have a great grow, everyone.
I just like staying away from especially bat guanos because a lot of it's sourced unethically and has heavy metals, and there's some stuff you want to stay away from there.
So have you ever heard that island where they made like $1 billion or $100 billion off of seabird guano, and they mined the whole island, right? Then the whole island now is impoverished. Before that,